again, I'm also really, really obsessed with the Game of Thrones book series.
Have you ever read the book Angry Black Woman's Guide to Life?
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
I haven't read it either, but it is currently the book that is sitting in the guest bathroom right now. I always like to put a book out so when people are guests, if they have to unload, I want them to have reading material, and I just think it's funny to have that book there.
Yeah, you have a lot of black women as guests, huh, Roger? Okay, I see you.
Yes.
I would say War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds. Okay. All right. Interesting. Back when Clubhouse was at its heyday, there was a room, probably had like 2,500 people in it, and people were just going down the list doing this, mentioning their favorite book, and there was a lot of repeats, in a room like that, because there was a lot of people. But the one that comes up quite a bit is the Bible. A lot of people say if you're only going to read one book, you should read the Bible. It gives you a lot. It gives you murder. It gives you mystery. It gives you a code to live by if you choose to. I'm not even a Christian, but I think that I would say that the Holy Bible is a must-read for people. I would recommend it.
But wait, I thought you viewed the Bible as like a book of fairy tales or something. What did you call it?
No, I called it Torah fan fiction, but I also believe that in this Torah fan fiction, there are good rules to live by. I like when Jesus was asked, how to get eternal life. He said that he didn't come to he didn't come to erase the laws of Moses. He came to fulfill them. And he said that the two greatest commandments are to love God and to love people. And if you do those two things, you will fulfill the law. So I really appreciate Jesus simplifying things, because in the Torah there are 613 rules. Christians don't do enough inventory of a list that long, so they shortened it to the 10 commandments. There's actually 613 commandments, but that's fine if you needed to make a top 10 list. And that was before David Letterman made top 10 lists popular. So shout out to the Christians for making a top 10 list.
Yeah, I wanted to say one of my favorite books in the Bible is Corinthians, and this is the verse from the 13th chapter. It says, "Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails." If people on Clown House really had that type of attitude, this would not be a toxic app.
I think an important one to read for Clubhouse, though, to just be prepared, would be 2 Kings chapter 2, where it talks about when you mock the prophet Elisha, and he prays for help from God. 2 bears appear from the forest, and they maul 47 children. I think that's probably more of an appropriate scripture for Clubhouse. Let's get back to Lordness and this anarchy thing. Lordness, you're an anarchist. What led you to this belief? Like, was it a book you read? Was it a podcast you heard? How did you go from watching the Cincinnati mayor Jerry Springer to being an anarchist?
It's not like it's not like that. But look, it's more of, at first, I guess I was doing some type of simulation on a game called Stellaris. It's like an ideology type of game, a space ideology game. that you're testing out different types of ideologies and seeing how they progress and all that. You're seeing it from like a very detailed perspective of different story arcs and all that. Just looking into like a full-on in-depth simulation of how a ideology could form and progress in a massive scale.
So you
and that started. Hold on.
Hold on. Well, pardon me, but so you played a video game, and you simulated a government structure where there is no government, and it was pure anarchy, and you came away with that this is your new ideology.
No, wait. Somewhat, not fully. And then I went on to social audio apps, which was my first app was Stereo. Not bad. Trying to help out Israelites and all that, seeing their different perspectives and all that, seeing what could help them out in this type of ideology. And then it just, like on Clubhouse, same thing. It just over time, I improved it in a way of fixing. It's just an ideology that would fix all the different groups and all that. Like not fix them, but more of improve their groups and all that. Let's say if Israelites, right, Hebrew Israelites, if they were to have their own form of territory and lands.
Hebrew Israelites? Wait, hold on. Hebrew Israelites?
Yeah, you don't know about their group.
You mean the black Hebrew Israelites?
Yes.
Do you know that they're neither Hebrew or Israelites?
Look, that's what they call themselves, okay?
Yeah, but they're just a knockoff Jew. So, but what about?
Look, either way, the point is.
Lordness, you realize that that's just Scientology of the hood, right?
Look, that's what they call themselves. That's what they call themselves. Okay?
I can call myself Superman, but
I mean, you can. No one's stopping you.
Do you know any of them that actually speak Hebrew?
No. I don't know how to speak either.
Isn't it weird to call yourself a Hebrew Israelite and not speak Hebrew?
I never asked them if they did.
I do. That's the difference. I do. I ask the important questions. I ask the Muslims if they support pedophilia, and I'll ask the black Hebrew Israelites if they speak Hebrew.
Understood. I guess the point is just more of all of these different groups and religions, corporations, they would have more control of land and territory, creating their own forms of laws, regulations within their controlled territory. The neutral territory, obviously, it's a little bit more isolated, but beneficial in some way. Different forms of currency.
Hey Rob, you do know that like nobody really speaks ancient Hebrew. Like the Hebrew today is not the ancient Hebrew. There's some scholars, there's some translators.
Yeah, but don't you think it's weird that the people on this app that identify as Hebrew Israelites, the only thing that they speak is Ebonics?
I'm not gonna check them out their lived experience. I don't know what they know. But go talk to them. You never know what you might find out.
I do talk to them. That's the point. Yeah. This room is welcome to all of these people. You know the difference? I just figured out the difference between this and chillism is when the bad ideas come up in chillism, they let it prevail. The bad idea is centered and propped up. Here, the bad ideas are interrogated, and we try to get to some semblance of truth. We ask questions like, why do you believe what you believe? And then we point out some of the problems that go along with these ideas. But you can't expect good, high-quality dialogue in a room where the moderators will allow a 45-minute debate between two people that have never read the source material that they're debating about. I mean, this is the thing we're dealing with. At least in here, if I were to say, "Hey, John, do you want to have a debate about Kant?" He's probably read it. Powell has probably read it. We can have a conversation about that. I'm no expert on Kant, but I have my thoughts. I have read some. I can have a limited conversation about Kant. But these guys are reading something that's far more dense, or they claim to, and then when called out on it, they acknowledged that they had never read it. Like, Hegel's a tough read. I mean, I don't blame people for not getting through it. What I do fucking condemn is the people that haven't read it, that decide that they're an expert on it and want to have an argument about it. It's very weird.
Hey, that's better than argument. I heard until this yesterday. They were arguing for 2 hours about do fish get thirsty? And it was Brad was involved in the argument. It was actually a heated argument. It was like one of those joking shit. They were living in a heated argument for over 2 hours about fish being thirsty.
Okay, so moving forward, we won't have to open rooms talking about what we heard in chillism. We'll actually allow you to listen.
Why you do that? Give me it.
You okay, Hakima? Hakima, you alright?
My fault. I ain't know I was off my son.
No, it's okay.
My son threw water all over the floor.
Oh, you're talking to a human? I thought you were talking to a dog like that. That's the way I talk to Bubba sometimes. You're all good. We didn't mean to pry into your personal life. So, in the future, thanks to our friend, future Congressman John Kitover, we are going to stream rooms such as Chillism or Politically Correct and other rooms, Healthy Bates, for example. We will stream them into this room, and then we'll just have a conversation. We'll listen to a little bit. We'll say, hey, let's go peek in and see what's going on in Chillism. And then we'll listen a little bit, and then once we've heard enough, we'll stop the stream, and then we'll have a conversation. I think this is going to be the best rooms that Clubhouse can do at this stage of the game. Christy, I'm not the one that condones recordings. What I've accepted is that the app itself has condoned anonymous accounts, and there's nothing I can do about it. I can't, like, if somebody was an anonymous account, I can't throw them out. So if you can't beat them, join them. That's the old saying. And so what we're going to do is we're going to repurpose content from other rooms into this room and then create an elevated sense of content over here. That's the plan. John, do you want to talk a little more about that?
Yeah, going back to the title of this room, Anarchy, I believe that tomorrow will cause anarchy on this app. And it is because essentially we will be obliterating echo chambers. And so technically in communication, the reframe is very powerful. So tomorrow we are going to offer Clownhouse a fresh reframe. And I think you will witness total and absolute anarchy. And again, I am running for Congress, so I do believe this will be beneficial in drawing attention to my campaign, particularly with regards to communication strategy and the lack of education, or really just how degraded and how much brain rot has truly set in amongst our fellow Americans.
Amazing. I'm excited about this. I hope you guys are excited. Because here's the other thing. You can come to this room and not have to worry about missing out on what might be going on in another room. Because we're going to bring you the best and the worst of what Clubhouse has to offer. And then we will offer our analysis and our critique. Some of us might say, hey, they made a really good point. That's probably unlikely to happen when we stream Chillism in here. But I think it's going to give us a great opportunity to expand. I like the idea of sometimes maybe we'll just tap into hear what the Persians are saying. We won't understand a lick of what they're saying, but it might be just fun and refreshing to just hear the different speech patterns and the cadence in which people speak. There's endless possibilities of this, and so I'm putting all of Clubhouse. This is a warning to you. We are going to be listening, and we are going to be streaming, and we are going to be talking about what you're talking about.
Hey, you got to change the name of the house or do it in another house, like something like Critiquing Clubhouse or something.
No, because people prefer to be in the muff, and if they don't like being in the muff, they probably don't belong here.
Okay, I can't talk against being in the muff. Yeah, I'm with you.
Even Brent likes being in the muff.
Again, you have to realize all communication.
I'm certainly in it more than you are.
all community.
Maybe so. Maybe so. You're married, and if your wife puts out on a daily basis, you're getting more than I am. I will freely admit, because I'm very selective. I am not having sex every day like some of you whores.
Same reason since I haven't joined Mojo. That, and as you observed the other day, I just like to hold on to pink then.
It's okay. Moose, I know why you healed the pink ticket, and I'm gonna hit the nail on the head here. You can deny if you'd like, but you have some friends that are of a far lefty variety, and if they were to come and peek in this room and see you on as a member of the House, you could at least have some dignity by saying, "I'm not a member. I was just there refuting some of their bad ideas." I think that's why you do it.
I was here as the left ambassador, a mole. But if you actually change the room, you had other rooms. Yeah, I mean other houses where I was a full-on member. So I'm not sure that's entirely true.
So is it just the title of the room you don't like? The house?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll have a poll someday and we'll change the name of the house. I'm very partial to this, so I'm going to be voting for it. But
I mean, maybe hovering over the muff, circumventing the muff. I don't know, something a little more scientific.
You know what
Hey, Moose, how are you in the muff but don't want to join the in the muff? Like that's hypocritical.
Stuff in real life.
Listen.
You're cutting out.
You know, tomorrow you are all
going. I was just getting some more muff.
You are all going to witness tomorrow squealing, screaming, anger, absolute chaos, anarchy, and insanity. And, you know, I have some experience with this on this app. I mean, I have been recording these rooms for quite a while. And when they know that I'm live streaming them, they have emotional meltdowns. But the fact that we will also be piping it in with the assistance of In the Muff, this is going to amplify the exposure tomorrow. So if you are available tomorrow at 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. or however long we go or whenever it starts, please join in the fun, invite people to the room, and we're going to need your participation. That means we need you to go to Politically Correct, to Chillism, and say, hey, they're live streaming your audio into another clown house room. They're also putting it on YouTube, and they are critiquing what you're saying. We're not going to repeat what they say. We're pretty much going to be the contrarian to what they're saying, or not. But I hope tomorrow you all enjoy this incredible roast. Again, this is going to be a roast.
Well, I also would like to say that it gives an opportunity for the smart people with the good ideas to have their message amplified. Maybe, just maybe, this could be the instrument that causes people to have better conversations. I think it's going to be fun when people say, I don't consent. I don't consent to have it streamed. You know, the thing that nullifies that is I don't even have to go into a room to listen to it. Now you can just go in the hallway and hover over a room. Without even entering the room, you could listen to it. So all of these ideas that people have about privacy on this app and I don't give consent, all of that stuff is gone. And if you don't like those facts, you should talk to Paul or Rowan, because those are the ones that have come up with those ideas. And so the other thing I want to highly encourage people to do is to really maximize this, is that when the YouTube is streaming, to make sure that you go onto that YouTube account, you go ahead and subscribe to it, like it, share it, comment on it, and also take it and share these these clips on other social media because I think if we blow up the YouTube stream, it will drive traffic. People that have never been on Clubhouse will go, where is that happening? And then when they realize that, oh, there's this app called Clubhouse where there's a house called In the Muff where you don't even need to peruse the app. You could just go get the best and the worst of in one central location.
Yeah, I hate that new feature. I haven't experienced it yet where you can hover over the houses and listen to what's being said for so many minutes. Now, when I go into other people's houses, I do my best to censor my ideas and take my time and really think before I speak. In my own house, not so much, but now I have to be so very careful. I really, really hate this new feature.
And Nice. You're talking about the feature like where you're seemingly in the hallway, you hover over one room, and then you hear like, I don't know, what is it, 30 seconds, a minute of conversation,
Exactly.
or you automatically forces you to join the room. That's my lord, my kingdom for a goddamn. Okay, am I coming through better here?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, what was deceiving about that, as per the usual with Clubhouse, it says, so you're hovering, thinking you're eavesdropping, or like, hey, I'm gonna hear, listen for a little minute, or anything interesting, maybe I'll join. And it actually has the big blue button that says join room. I found out inadvertently. They're like, I don't know what room it was, but they're like, Moose, why do you keep going in and out of our room? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I realized, even without hitting join the room, they see you in the room. Like, what? I mean, really, are these 14-year-olds that are coding this? It's absolutely wild. It's counterintuitive to a positive user experience.
You know,
Yeah. Let's talk about the coding for a second in how it pertains to new features. They have this polling feature that's up above that hopefully you guys have all responded to by this point. If you do the math, it adds up to 102%. This is a quick fix. I could even fix it, and I'm not particularly good at programming. The other thing that's interesting is that it shows who voted for what. I think anonymous voting would be better. And then the final critique is that if I were to go and change the poll, it will kick me out of the room. I should be able to change the poll, in the poll, do those types of things without being thrown from the room. There's a lot of work that they have. Hopefully you guys can get that kind of feedback to the founders, though.
can I just say tomorrow I will be doing the heavy lifting and live streaming the room. So if everyone wants to share my video, but I would encourage you all to get a second cell phone and literally live stream or record what people are saying on this app. Don't be a victim of, the spam on this app. Reverse the flow. Hopefully we can organize and monetize, but I think that if we are going to change America, this is actually could be a great butterfly effect platform to do that with. And if the founders of this app shut down what we're doing, well, it doesn't matter to me because apparently you can just keep creating accounts. So even they are exhausted, I think, with all of the gossip and all of the reporting. And, Anonymous was a response to essentially take the responsibility off of them from people making recordings of what people like to complain about that are unrecorded rooms. So again, they deferred that liability and took that responsibility off of their plate. And it's creators who are creative that will generate social change for positive change. I mean, this is how we maybe evolutionize our consciousness on technology platforms like this. It's the people. The platform is like doesn't even exist. It's agnostic. We're just people talking to each other on a fucking conference call. That's it. But how we structure it, what we say, what information is being exchanged is what matters. The platform is basically insignificant. It's almost like it doesn't exist. We're just brains talking to brains on a fucking conference call. So I'm just saying time is very important and what we say matters. So hopefully, even, the term anarchy is going to breed a collective organization, that helps everybody, utilitarian type of, raising of all ships. But I think tomorrow is going to be fun. I mean, this is basically the pre-party show.
Well, make sure you tap into that room full of rats led by WAC 100. That should be an interesting, chaotic conversation.
You could technically call this show Stirring the Pot, because that's what we will be doing, is stirring the pot.
maybe, Angel, unless John happens to tune into a room where they're talking shit about him. That could go either way. It could be entertaining or, quite disturbing. John, how would you feel about that? I keep calling you John because you're PTR. If you happen to tune into a room and the entire discussion is dragging you.
Yeah, that to me is when I really tickles my feather, because then I pull out a cell phone and I hit the short on YouTube and I create a 15-second to a 3-minute clip of them defaming me, libeling me, making death threats, etc. That's when it gets a lot of fun over here in the recording studio.
30 people in the room at the moment, apparently 6 the plus account. I think it's time for Clubhouse to go back to the monetizing board.
Well, if they're going to charge people, they should give them a feature that they actually asked for. In fact, if they were to listen to the people that have been on this app of what would make for good monetization, it would be easy to figure out. Fanbase actually had a pretty good system where you buy hearts, and then you basically buy a heart for a penny, and then when you give the heart to somebody, you like what they say, or you can give them multiple hearts at the same time. You can give them 100 hearts, 1,000 hearts, 10,000 hearts. And then when you give them the heart, they get half of the value of that, and then the app keeps the other half. And so every heart cost a penny, and if you get a heart, you get a half a penny. So you have to get 2 hearts to make a penny. By the way, when Kelly and I did our rooms on Fanbase, I made more money in that first room on Fanbase than I ever made here on Clubhouse. So that's something that does work.
$12.
No, I made on the first room I made over $60, and on the second room I made like $30-something. So combined, I've been on that app 3 times, and I made like just a hair over $100.
I don't know if anybody knows, and who Kim Cutts is. Adams might know Kim Cutts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I joined Fanbase. I don't really go over there, but if she opens a room, I'll go listen to Kim Cutts. When I first joined Fanbase, I think I had about 1,000 hearts, and I'm down to maybe 600. I give all my hearts to Kim Cutts. What did you say, Adam?
I don't fuck with the ghetto.
I remember like Kim Cutts and what was the other one? Was it Honey Badger that they would have these rooms on Clubhouse with like Honey Shakur, like 300-400 people in there, and I go in there, I'm like, all right, I just like, sociological experiment, like what is the attraction? And I just didn't get it. Like her Cash App thing is posted, but why are there 300 people in this room listening to? I mean, I'm not saying it was. I don't know, to each their own, I guess, at the end of the day. But I was trying to just understand what some influencers do to attract the folks that listen to them. Like, it's bizarre.
Hey, John, are you set up where we could test out this streaming feature now? Or do you need till tomorrow?
No, I have other accounts, but I won't jump into a room under anonymous. I'll just, if you want to hear a room to test the audio quality, we can do that.
Yeah, I want to see if we can test. Let's go peek in at the 13 people that are in Chillism. That would be fun.
Wow, 13. They're actually over double digits?
Yes.
See, the great thing about this is I'm not the only one who has to be the person who can participate. If anybody here has another device and you got good audio quality, feel free to speak up. This is a collective effort.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if somebody wants to like peruse the app and go, holy shit, you won't believe what they're talking about, boom, there's the content. Let's go ahead and tap in. We could crowdsource this bitch to make sure that anything that is good or anything that is comically bad we can go ahead and bring it into this room, and then we get to talk about it. This is what the people want to listen to. They want to make sure they're not missing. That FOMO thing is real. The fear of missing out. You can't be here and there, but starting tomorrow, you will be able to be everywhere on this app, everywhere all at once.
Okay, let's do a quick little test here. So we are going to play.
I don't consent to being recorded.
Okay, this is Joker's Lounge. Songs to my Habibti. This is Anne is in this room. This is,
Do we have an alliance or not?
There's no alliance. This is free for all.
If anyone skips me one more time, you two better skip me one more time. I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you in
Look
your
how many
throat.
cards I have, Bells.
Not you, Scorpio.
I'm saying, that's, look at how many cards I have. It's like,
Yeah, but Mises is looking real low, and now Turpy is looking real low. I don't trust any of them.
But you're like trying to make sure that he doesn't get 2 cards. You have to make it make sense.
Looking fucking great right now.
I can't
Take a
relax.
deep breath and fuck them up.
It's funny how dressed
Oh my God, gee, they just. It's okay. I apologize.
okay, that's called Joker's Lounge. Songs to my Habibi. Let's see if we can find Chillism. I may be blocked or kicked. In the meantime, this is called What Happens to Africa if Burkina Faso Falls with Lonzo.
Boycott. You are a low IQ degenerate. Yeah.
Can I offer a quick submission?
Out of all things you can hold on, bro. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Out of all things you could be losing out of all things you could be using your time, your intellectual labor, your social political capital on, you're gonna focus on a non-factor, small immigrant population. Like, what are we even talking? Like, this is low IQ at its finest. This is niggatry, bro. This is
Right. And if I may, I'm sorry. You mind if I add something, Nathan? Yeah. Well, I think, Sister Pretty, we also have to realize, I don't know if you're involved in activism or community activism in your city or community, but yeah, Black folks have always protested against white businesses. In fact, during the George Floyd and even the Michael Brown in St. Louis, they shut down entire shopping malls, during the holidays. Because as you know, the verdict for Michael Brown came down in November. So
Yeah. They kicked me. So this is where Anonymous comes into play, where live streaming that type of content and then providing feedback or just being shocked at to what they're saying is the real value of Anonymous. And this is why anarchy and chaos, will proceed from this scientific experiment.
Amazing.
Wait, John, what room was that? That was the Chillism room?
No, that's Lonzo's room.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Lonzo's the Haitian guy that likes to speak for American blacks.
Yeah, I think I'm following him.
Okay, I give you Chillism. This will be 60 seconds of Chillism.
This is quite
exactly. What's up, Mark?
So,
Can't answer a question. Oh wait, neither can you.
So like I said,
was that a good thing?
Go down the street.
Was that a good thing? Mark, you want to take over? You want to ask him a question?
He's making me have to
throw him in your blender. I'm sure you will.
I would like to present what I interpret why he was talking about genetics.
Brother, hold on, brother. There's like 8 things happening at once, and
it's 3. 1, 2, 3.
You're right.
It's 3.
He's getting away with a lot of things right now, and I want to.
What am I getting? I just asked you about your feelings.
So no, brother, no. You did something, and I want to point it out.
What did I do? What
it's
did
very
I do?
important to the
Is
conversation.
this your humanity that you're going to explain what I did? Because we know it's flawed.
Can we get him down for just a second? Or
no, that's not going to happen. That's definitely not going to happen, bro. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not breaking any rules in this house.
Make your submission.
I'm not breaking any rules in this house.
Nathan, anybody? Can I get
Oh my God, he's calling for help. He's calling for help. Why do you need?
Can I get a bulletproof vest?
To be fair, I cannot contravene the rules of the house.
Yeah, I'm trying to contribute. Yeah, I'm trying to contribute to the conversation.
What you can try to do is, because a lot of people do this, and this is pretty smart. You can try and get Mike to break the rules. So I don't know, maybe try and get him to talk about either kids or call a woman a bitch on stage, so if he can quickly pick a woman into the room and then like swap, tag out, and then like Mike calls you a bitch, but then he does it to her or something like that. Like these are the ways you can bait him into it. Like
quite difficult. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's 60 seconds of chillism. Now, I think at some point you have to have some self-reflection. Say, is it worth it? Is it worth it to come here and to listen to these meaningless conversations of brain rot? Is it worth it? That's my question I want to ask you. Is it worth it?
Maybe that could be the title of the room. Is it worth it?
You guys, Nelson, has anybody been on Chatter? Nelson's gone absolutely psychotic. He begged me to come over. Every time I talk, he throws me out. He has gone absolutely psychotic. A number of my colleagues, we won't even go in there anymore. Has anyone been over there recently?
Yeah.
No,
it's crazy.
Some kind of financial
Crazy.
stress or something.
It's crazy. You know, I encountered Jennifer Lopez's, makeup artist, which is very strange. Very strange. Very strange.
I haven't been there since Jonathan Bing ruined the app. So I left when Jonathan Bing ruined it.
They are literally putting guns out when they talk, and they're threatening each other with guns. It is, I don't want to be there at all, but something's about ready to come down that's not okay. And when I heard someone say they don't fuck with the hood, that's exactly what Chatter's turning into. And Nelson is really, he's so triggered by me, it's insane. And, I tried, and if anyone else has had a negative experience, I support them in speaking out about it.
Well, that's interesting, because when the app first launched, Nelson touted it as being the opposite of Clubhouse. No ghetto, no ratchet, no threats, no violence, no calling people out in the headlines, no doxing. So to hear you say he has now gone down the rabbit hole of fuckery, I'm amused.
It's really bad, like psychiatric bad. Up all night, people attacking each other. It's completely out of control. And I started this Make America Healthy Again, send Nelson back to Nigeria, and he's mad as hell. But I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, and it's unhealthy. And there's people there who've like drank the Kool-Aid, who are getting caught into it. So it's sad.
You know what would be a really, really, really fun room on Chatter? The Lee Wanta scandal.
We separate rich.
Well, if anybody in Clubhouse wanted to do send Nelson back to Nigeria,
one is 11.
Come in.
It's like, no, I said 1 plus 1, not 1 next
Nelson
to 1.
Well,
my definition of the word one is different from your definition of the word one, and they try to move forward with the argument.
He's not being an anarchist. He's creating complete chaos. And
I had to check my
yesterday they
only
came
one
on the
Tuesday,
episode
and that wasn't a day.
Went psychotic.
Lee Wanta scandal. Thank you. Lee Wanta scandal. Ask him about that.
Well,
did you get confirmed and everything?
What scandal is that?
Yes.
And it's gone. It's like over the
Words
line of
to that
danger
is
now.
something that
But
we
what
all can
scandal is
agree on,
that?
and we could act.
Roger?
Which scandal are we referring to, Dr. Adams? I'm sorry, I missed it.
The Lee Wanta scandal. Bilking billions of dollars out of, white people in Florida.
You want to expand on that?
Nigerian scams?
Is Nelson involved in that?
What kind of scam is that? Is that celebrity scam?
Look it up. Look it up.
Can you guide me through it?
Is he involved in that? Do you have any facts of him being involved in that?
No, of course not. I mean, I'm not allegedly, equating him to that scandal. But again, look up that said scandal.
So, like, I had 5,000 people on Clubhouse, and then Nelson went and created Chatter. You know, Nelson keeps coming onto Clubhouse trying to steal Clubhouse's audience. If I was the CEO of Clubhouse, I would be really pissed off at Nelson. And I would ban him from coming in here. I mean, somebody's got to put some, American wake-up call on what this guy's doing, because it's not safe. It's getting where it's like full-on ghetto now. And I guess last night they all brought their guns out on their videos, you know? That's fucking insane. And I land. Thanks for letting me talk. Thank you.
Dr. Mojo, since you are the premier green bean, I would just ask that, as the super producer, if at any moment you want to make a request, during the show today or tomorrow, and you say, okay, you know what, John or somebody else in the room, give us chillism, give us, this show, give us that show, or give us a random sample, like just to break it up.
Yeah, so I think what we're gonna do is we'll have like a regular room where we talk, and then people can say, hey, here's a subject, here's a topic in another room, maybe we check on that, and then when we do it, once we do bring the stream in, everybody needs to remain on mute so we can hear the stream. This is where we need to get, we'll have like a culture in here of, if we want to stop it, we'll get a GIF, and then if more than 50% of the stage wants to stop the stream, then we'll indicate, to stop. Like if it's good, we'll just let it go. Maybe we'll even have an indication of keep it going, and then we'll have like a universal signal when we want it to stop. And then when we stop it, then we'll discuss it. We'll go around the room, we'll talk about it. And then if we want to tap back in and listen to it some more, we can do that. If we want to check in a different room, we'll do that. But we're going to have to get visual cues, not audio cues, of when we're done with the content. That way you would know, okay, you can stop now.
I think also putting a survey, once we know the names of the shows that we're rebroadcasting, that we have a survey, what's your favorite show out of the 4 selections that we've been sampling?
That's a good idea. And then if we do tap into a debate, we'll definitely let people here decide who won their debate. And then we could give a feedback loop to them of like, hey, congratulations. The people in the muff believe that so-and-so won the debate. And then it'll just be a nice little, it's almost like publishing a voter guide. Adams, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Also, don't forget tomorrow, if you are in the muff with us and you are part of this live rebroadcast experience, we may call you out and need your help to go into these rooms and alert them that they're being rebroadcast in this room. Your active participation is desperately needed. Without your help, you won't maximize the experience and have as much fun as you can, and this room won't be as popular and as big as it will be. So please, your participation will be required and needed.
Yeah, I think this is going to be fun. I think we'll also have to have some firm rules, like, for this room. Typical stuff that we already agreed to, like no doxing and no threats and that sort of thing. So when we're critiquing people, I think we should, I almost feel like we should play the critique straight. Like, the comedy is going to be what we stream, and then we can be the straight men and women, and we could critique it in an honest way.
and then we can go back to the comedy that they provide to us. I don't think we need to add humor, a layer of humor over top of this, because the humor will be provided for us.
5 p.m. What time zone is that?
That's Pacific. I will have different times. I'm going to schedule them on different days at different times, just to make sure I can. We can start getting a snapshot of different people and their availability, so they can understand what's going on. Once we build the culture and the awareness that it's happening, then we'll standardize on a particular time that works best for most.
You're non-black, correct?
No, she's not.
I have a feeling we're going to find new favorite rooms. That's what I believe is going to happen. We're going to tap into a room, and it's going to be like, holy shit, where has this room been all our life? I think that's what's going to happen here. We're going to be scouring the app.
I don't
to
think
find
the whole
content.
site should be in
And,
public
we
because
need everybody's help to do this.
if
Now, some people may not like this new format. I have a feeling we're going to be kind of chasing the dragon in the sense that a lot of this is very boring. And so this is not a compression of the best clips. Again, this will be live. This isn't going to be like a day of recordings from yesterday and the best of the best. But my point in doing this is that what's the fucking difference? It's the same stupid shit. You're just listening to it in this room.
So many different devices. Like, what's your goal? How many rooms are you going to? Like, what's your record for recording simultaneously?
I did a 3 studio recording session where I had 3 rooms being recorded live on multiple devices in different rooms of my house, or actually 4 different rooms in my house.
I think the White America rooms might provide some interesting content for us.
And I want to let everybody know this could be a grand finale type show. Like tomorrow, I will dedicate the morning to doing this, but this is basically the summary of my research project. This is like my thesis statement being submitted for my PhD. So this is the end of it. Like tomorrow will be a blowout, and I very much doubt we will do the same show. Maybe we'll do it this whole week. I don't know how hard it's going to draw me in, but this is what I've been doing for many years now. We're only doing what we've always been doing, but pull that curtain away and we're going to find out, who the Wizard of Oz is.
Lordness, what do you, I'm going to get back to the anarchy thing. What do you think would be different in terms of the crime rate? Do you think the crime rate with no police force, do you think it would go up or go down?
I mean, who would actually record it?
Well, let's just say there was an independent third party that did a survey.
How Mojo? All right. How this? Let's say in a corporation, communist ideology, specific territory within this ideology, right? It would vary, but I don't think the crime rate would be high in those territories. But in the neutral zone, it would vary. And I mean, it would be difficult to try to record all of the deaths in the neutral zone, especially if nobody's going to really clean up the place. But I think it might be lower in a specific territory.
Who do you think would fare better, lefties, righties, or centrists?
Centrists.
Well, how would they fare better?
Is the question no law and order at all, or just local police, or no FBI, or what? All law enforcement gone?
So, so from what I'm talking about with my ideology, belief system, or ideology, corporations, religion, cults, ideologies, all of them, they're only able to control land and territory they're able to have their own form of military, and police force is mainly based on currency, population, and weapon of technology that they have to defend their specific ideology. Neutral zones, obviously, it's like Wild West in some way. Just people just mind their own business.
You realize that in the Wild West they had sheriffs, right?
Oh, yeah. But I'm not saying like that. I'm just saying it as a hypothetical.
Right, but you referenced the Wild West, and I'm just suggesting that if you take like Tombstone, Arizona, the shootout at the OK Corral, all of that started with the sheriffs taking the guns from certain people. So law enforcement had some pretty strict rules back then. So why would you compare anarchy to the Wild West?
I'm talking about the neutral zones in a way of, I mean, there's no way you can really force someone to give them your guns unless, I don't know, if you had like a implanted a nuke within you or something. Then it's like, well, if you kill me, it doesn't matter who's gonna come out of this or not. But
well, that brings up another question that we've asked Bima, and I'd love to get your answer on this. Over 5,000, probably closer to 6,000 nuclear warheads. In your world, who would possess those?
Everyone.
Well, not everyone could have one because there's 350 million people in this country, and there's only let's call it 5,500 warheads. So not everybody gets one. So what's the more accurate answer? Who actually gets these?
Again, it's a free-for-all. So, I mean, first off, I guess if, let's say, we were going to go through a thorough hypothetical, in the beginning, people are going to be buying them. Some people are going to be selling them.
But who has them to sell them? Because, like, right now, they're, like...
Military.
Oh, so the military will either keep them or sell them?
Correct.
And you think that's a good development?
Yes. Because corporations could also purchase the warheads, too.
So you're pro-nuclear proliferation?
Yeah. Look, the type of ideology I was speaking of, if you view it like Warhammer 40K mixed with Terminator, times 100.
Anybody have any other questions for Lordness? Do you guys think that this sounds like an attractive place to live, where the military sells nuclear weapons to whoever they want?
Sorry, just a question. Would Iran as well be one of the countries that could have nuclear weapons?
Wait, Iran?
Yes, Iran.
I mean, look, my ideology isn't for the world; it's only for the U.S.
But what if one of these military guys that's
if they do?
What if he wanted to sell it to somebody in Iran? Would that be okay?
Look, it's their choice. If they do, they do. But I highly doubt they're really going to succeed in any way with one warhead when this ideology has a very massive competition of war and technological growth to the point that they are capable of destroying the planet if they are losing their territory.
Well, again, you never cease to amaze me with your bad ideas. Anthony, just to catch you up on what's going on here, Lordness, who's an anarchist, when he was asked the question, who would get the nuclear weapons if we had complete anarchy, and he said that the military would have them, and it would be their choice to keep them or sell them. And he indicated that it would be their choice if they wanted to sell these weapons to a nation state like Iran.
I mean, nuclear weapons is... Sorry, Anthony, go ahead, man.
Nah, it's all good. This idea that the military... what I look at? I look at self-interest, and it would not be in the military's self-interest to do anything like that, bro. It makes fundamentally no sense whatsoever. So I have to vehemently disagree with your assessment.
So you think that the military is its own, in this hypothetical then, alright, wait. How would the military actually progress in this ideology?
The military one sheriff Wild Wild West to nuclear weapons.
They're also going to go against corporations that could probably make worse things.
In society breakdown, the military, they have guns, butter, training. They're going to be the ruling class like they are in a lot of countries when there's a military coup. If we have anarchy, they and their loved ones will be well taken care of. If they can't produce it, they'll take it. It's just that simple. Them selling nuclear weapons makes no sense whatsoever.
I wonder what Brent has to say about this. Brent, Lordness says that in his desired state of affairs, the government would not exist and anarchy would prevail. And when he was asked about nuclear weapons, he said that the military would just keep them and they would be free to sell them if they'd like. So if you were a submarine captain and you had a submarine and the nukes that are on board, you could keep them or you could sell them. What do you think of Lordness' idea about this?
Well, I mean, taking it slightly more seriously and going back to the roots of anarchy and this kind of thought of elimination of the state, nuclear weapons are a great example of why you can never actually go towards political anarchy. See, because you frankly need that hierarchical control with something but like nukes, because you have to have one voice to watch it. You have to have that deterrent effect, and there's just no way out of it now that we have over 3,000 nuclear weapons. So it's like responding to Cinderella and the magic kingdom. I mean, it's not worth responding to, besides the fact that to point out that political anarchy was always unfeasible, but in the modern world, nukes are an example why is it especially unfeasible now.
So what if we got some sort of a lot simpler, like old technology, like the railroad? Lordness, who would you've got a railroad that goes across the country. It could be for passengers, it could be for freight. In an anarchy society, when you don't have the organization of these things, what would happen if the people, let's say in Montana, decided, hey, we're going to build a bowling alley here, right where the tracks were. We're going to take the tracks out, and they just completely destroyed the train system. Who would stop them from doing that?
Nobody.
So you wouldn't be able to have a transportation method that crosses the country, such as roads or railroads.
I mean, there's other methods besides trains. If, let's say, we go down this route. I mean, look at my PTR. Back to that, the military selling the nukes and all that. Would they really be capable of fighting something like this in the PTR? An army of these, probably made from mad scientists creating all these different experiments and weapons and all that within a matter of days, because there's no regulation to stop them from creating it. Especially when they have the money and time to do so in corporations.
I'm trying to understand your point here. Can somebody help me with the translation?
No.
I believe he's saying without the government, weapons are going to advance at a much faster rate than they are currently advancing.
Not just weapons, technology, transportation, every form of thing will advance to the point that no other country around the world would not want to fuck with this country. No way. Because then, I mean, let's just say if the whole world united against this one country, with all these different ideologies and corporations and all that, I mean, it could go down to either the specific ideology winning that war, or if we're close to losing it, might as well destroy the whole planet.
That doesn't sound like a good strategy to me, but let me ask you this. Who would coordinate the Navy? Because that's one of our big advantages when it comes to global supremacy and warfare, who would control our Navy?
It would vary in the ideology that has control of a massive navy.
That did answer my question.
All right, then let's say Amazon, right? Let's say if Amazon was able to mass produce a navy, a strong navy. Then, I mean,
and what would you do? You'd transfer warehouse workers into soldiers?
If they have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lordness from Chillism.
Well, I wasn't originally there. I used to listen to your rooms a long time ago, I think a year ago.
Did you have these ideas back then?
Yeah.
Got it. So, do you think that Chillism is a cult?
Somewhat. I know a lot of cults. They're not 50-50, but not fully.
Got it. Do you feel like Chillism has a Scientologist rhetoric?
I don't know. I mean, like, it's a little bit mixed in there.
Got it. So you don't see like an undertone of Scientology?
Not that I know of, or I can comprehend.
David, welcome. We're just talking to Lordness, who is walking us through this very well thought out philosophy of his called anarchy. And he was explaining to us who would possess the nukes, how life would just go on if there was no railway or interstate roads, how we would protect against foreign invasions if we have no coordinated navy. It's fascinating stuff, Dave. John, who do you think is a better presenter of ideas, Bhima or Lordness, when it comes to anarchy? Anyone want to answer? Okay, the whole room's gone silent. Perfect, amazing.
Well, I've only been to Chillism today. I haven't been there before. But I'm extremely fascinated by this character, Lordness, because I mean, are you actually trolling? Tell me the truth.
Oh, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm writing a story on this novel too, or on this ideology too, so I mean, either way.
Are you completely mad?
I mean, you can say whatever you want and make as much claims as you want, but it's just my belief system. Okay. After all, I do believe in the multiverse.
Oh, right, okay. And, yeah, okay. I mean, I don't need to ask anything else. Thank you.
Okay, Lordness, you have me on multiverse. Now my interest is peaked. And I was in the store, I couldn't answer Mojo's question. I think he said who's the better speaker or the best presenter of their ideology, Bhima or Lordness. I would have to say Lordness. He's very descriptive with his narrative. It's well thought out. As fantastical and insane as it is, I have to give him credit for the creativity he's put into this chaotic, deathly world that he wants to live in, where there are no laws, no rules, rape, murder, the children aren't safe, the women aren't safe. So, and then you added the multiverse as icing on the cake. So I guess you would win in the battle between your narrative and Bhima's narrative.
I think that's a good point, because
BEMA typically just says, I support ideas where you cannot initiate force or coercion onto another person or people. And then when you ask her for specifics, she has nothing. So at least Lordness engages with us and tells us what he thinks that this might look like.
I mean, I'm just giving you guys the little things that you guys are asking questions about. I'm not giving the full-on, in-depth detail of it.
Who would make the rules?
Now, alright, this is the little bit of a weird, iffy part. Think of it like the Illuminati. Think of it like the Illuminati, but a little bit more like its own military force that has the most advanced technology in every way to defend this ideology. Now, laws and all that, I mean, it would vary on the territory, but mainly that military force of the Illuminati, hypothetical military force and all that, that would be the portion of the ideology that would defend the specific ideology if either one of the ideologies was a majority of the whole state or country, or if a nation attempts, or all nations attempts to go against this specific ideology.
But isn't that kind of antithetical to the whole point?
They're not enforcing laws. They're only there just to let it keep it going.
But by virtue of that, they are enforcing laws.
So I'm not getting what you're asking.
If the purpose of them is to defend the ideology, that seems to me to be a system of governance.
Somewhat. See, this is like a little bit of the iffy part because they're not really. Because there's no main government because of all the different ideologies, the corporations, let's say communism, if Amazon was his own form of military and defense force and all that. There are so many forms of ideology within their own territory as societies and different forms of currency. Like it expands to a larger picture. Like this specific force doesn't involve itself with any form of the land or territory. It's just like think like a spire. It's just a little spire that's just empty and void, nothing at all. And let's just say if one of the ideologies took control of the whole country, or let's say if the whole world was to go against this country, this military force would be capable of going against the whole world and or this specific ideology.
How does this military fund itself?
I mean, mainly taken from the other ideologies through back deals.
Ideologies have bank accounts?
Yes, I mean, different forms of currency.
That sounds like taxes.
I mean, some could have taxes, some wouldn't.
Who would have the authority to collect taxes?
Alright, so if, let's say the corporation had taxes, obviously they would have their own form of police force and military to collect the taxes. Or an AI system that automatically collects the taxes within the territory.
So, in our current state, we have a constitution, and we have a legal basis to say that we're going to collect these taxes. What would be the basis that gives this company the authority? And what if a competing company comes along and says, no, give the taxes to us, we're better. What's to stop that?
I mean, they'd have the right to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
So would you have to pay taxes to every corporation?
not everyone. No, not everyone. I mean, because they all vary. I mean, wherever
But
you
I'm
choose
not
to
paying
live,
taxes
it's
to
good.
anybody.
I mean, you don't have to, but they might kick you out or force you to do work.
Marcus, do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, you've been asking me this a couple times.
No, I've asked you what your ideas are, but I'm asking you if you think it's a good idea. I mean, like, it's one thing to come up with an idea. Like, there's another to come up with good ideas. Do you think this would optimize human flourishing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Hey, so Mojo, I've just been wondering, so when you were talking about Wild Wild West before, and yes, there was law enforcement, albeit at a very low scale, do you think, like, the Deadwood age and all that, like, you know, the new sheriff in town, would it be fair to say that not all homicides were accounted for or even remotely pursued?
Yeah, I actually heard these comedians talking about this, where they were saying that in the Wild West, somebody could go and kill somebody, rob a bank, whatever it is, and then they can, then they draw a wanted poster, and so the only wanted poster is this image of what he looked like. Let's say he's wearing a particular type of hat, and let's say he has a mustache. He can get rid of the hat, shave his mustache, and then just go become a sheriff in another town. Like there's definitely a lawlessness. It's amazing.
Deadwood is a fantastic show, though. I'm actually rewatching it. It's been a number of years.
It was so unfortunate that they didn't get the natural conclusion to that show. The movie that they made years later was just not up to the standard of the show.
It was bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Swerenzer. Sucker Swerenzer.
Yeah, no, I think the Wild West was an interesting thing. I actually think that
Kima, why do you gotta kick Mojo out like that? That's rude.
I wasn't even a mod until he left. His battery died or something. He probably got a dead battery. He'll be back.
Does anyone have other questions, or mainly just Roger asking the questions?
Well, my thing is, sir, I'm not entirely. Oh, hold on. Lordness, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely convinced that you want to live in this world unless you live in a castle with a moat, a fortress of somehow, because I don't think you'll be able to. I mean, you would have to have a pretty solid some weaponry to protect you and yours, right? Because I don't think that you alone, you would have to have an army of darkness to fend off the rabid personalities who would come and want to rape and pillage your property. So I don't know. Do you have what does your army of darkness look like, sir? Because you're definitely going to need one. And also, here's a really important question: are there zombies in this apocalyptic world where anarchy rules?
Now, if a ideology does create zombies somehow, sure, but I highly doubt that's a possibility. If anything, it's all going to be cyborgs or clones or mutation creatures, some type of infection that could create biomass and all that.
The cyborgs and clones, I forgot about that. So yeah, what if the cyborgs go rogue? Humans are no match to cyborgs, sir.
Well, that's why you gotta improve yourself in any way possible to go against them.
Improve yourself, like more push-ups.
No. I mean, like having cybernetics and all that. Going full blown, like just any like doing whatever it takes to improve yourself in any way.
Hey, in a world without police, I don't think it'll be as violent as people think it is. I think the police, I think the police actually perpetrate violence because people think they know they can do certain shit and they protect it to a certain extent. So like in a world without police, it'll be more respect than people think.
You think police are worse than armies of darkness?
Oh my! Look. I mean, with hey, Kima, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, like it's in the beginning, it's gonna be like the Purge. It's in any form of ideology change, it's gonna be chaotic. Probably not as chaotic as the ideology I'm for, but over time,
it would be more. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Over time, it will just like calm down, and then it's just like just I'm minding my own business. You fuck with me, we're gonna see how that goes.
I agree. I think Akima's honest. I think the shock value will, of course, it's not going to be overnight. People, of course, will take advantage of whatever for a while, but then a lot of criminals actually literally live on the thrill of cortisol and adrenaline, of being smarter than outsmarting the police and all that. I think it'll go back to truly it takes a village, not just to raise a baby, but to look after your neighbor. I mean, at the end, when the Italians and Jews came over to New York, fun fact, the Jews and Irish started their organized syndicates in New York before the Italians. And the Italians like, all right, you don't want us, we'll create our own neighborhood. And of course, Hollywood took it from there. But they literally did. They looked over neighborhoods, albeit for a nominal fee to keep your store safe from getting burglarized. But I think, and really at the end of the day, wherever one lives, like, see something, say something. Like, how often do you feel that if you're walking down the street, you see somebody in trouble, someone will, a bystander will try to intervene on some level?
Folks don't like to intervene today. A lot of people like to mind their own business when they see people are in distress or being harmed. It takes a real true hero to want to help, someone vulnerable. And we seemingly are our growing population of weaklings, beta male mentality, folks who just want to mind their own business, look the other way. They don't want to get involved because they think if they get involved, they're putting themselves in harm's way. So I don't know. In Lord Niss's world,
unless they want to film at night, they'll film it before they get involved.
You read my mind, David. Exactly. That's it. That's their way of them getting involved. But the thing is that you don't have to be the hero. You don't have to jump in and physically put yourself in danger or make yourself vulnerable. There's actually courses. It's like nonviolent bystander interference or something. Where literally on the average, if you're across the street and you just start yelling like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing over there?" 9 out of 10 times, the attacker will run off like a scared rabbit. You don't have to run over there to be the hero and beat somebody up. In fact, the only time I've ever been jumped in my life, late at night, walking the streets, coming out of a bar, these guys jumped me. They didn't want my money because they threw a bottle at me. They were just coming out of some strip club, and I was like, "What the fuck?" One of them, they jumps out of the car, runs over to me. And I'm like, whoa, dude, like, I'm not looking for... Before he got the sentence out, he knocks me to the ground. And some random dude happened to be across the street. He's like, "Hey, you okay over there? What the hell's going on?" And sure enough, the rat ran away.
Well, but I think in Lord Niss's world, if you say, "Hey, what are you doing over there?" you might get popped in the damn head, right? So I don't know. I'm not sold yet. I don't want to live in this world that Lord Niss is painting, because I just think, criminals know that there are now, in real life, criminals know that there are real life consequences to to their criminality. If there's no judges, jury, and executioners, I think folks will run rabid. There would be death and destruction for years to come. I disagree with this theory that there would only be violence initially and that it would quell off somehow. I don't know. You know, the modern day human is insanity. You know, we want to be that violent. We're so far removed from spirituality, God, emotions, right? And if there's no one there to check us, then we will fully maximize this free will, this so-called free will that we have, and unleash, you know, our nefarious ideas and ideologies onto the next human. So I don't know, Lourdes.
Now, the reason why, what I think, like I said, there's no one to check you. Like it will be at that point. Like people will check each other. Because right now, a criminal have an advantage. One, he's not afraid to go to jail, and you know that your retaliation is not. You're not going to retaliate, especially not to the degree that you're going to go harm one of his loved ones. But in that reality, people know that if I do something to you, you're not just going. There's no jail. The retaliation, you won't come after me, my family. So like it's gonna be more of a reality. There's not gonna be protection from the police for the criminals have the advantage. Everyone's gonna have the same attitude. If you come fuck with me, I'm gonna come fuck with you and your family, and that's gonna keep a lot of people in check.
Well, I also think we would have to, in that case, we would have to have like these communities or compounds of people who want to maintain civility, right? I think in the world that Lourdes is painting, humans, your average human would be very scared because they don't know the motive of those they encounter out in the street. You don't know if the person you encounter will kill you, pray for you, pray with you, join you in the rebellion, steal your shit, right? Or if they are checkable. So I think in this world that Lourdes is painting, you would have to, I always like to say your vibe attracts your tribe. If you are the type of person that needs law and order and you want to live a very peaceful, soft kind of life, free from murder, robbery, chaos, etc., you would have to find like-minded people and build communities with them, a gated community, a fortress around this community so that the weirdos and the killers don't penetrate. Right? Because I don't think that this will be a harmonious society that you guys seem to think it will be. And have we not seen? Have we not watched science fiction films? Has the Walking Dead not taught us anything about what it would be like in a world full of where there's no law, there's no governance? Maybe I've just watched too many sci-fi films and zombie films and post-apocalyptic films and anarchy films and The Purge, etc., etc. It sounds like an utter nightmare, this world that Lourdes has crafted in his mind. Hakima, you would want to live in such a society?
I mean, we live in one right now where a certain group of people can do what they want to do to other people. I'm not talking about racially. I'm talking about as far as the government. They can do whatever they want to do right now. There is anarchy right now. That we're not participants.
Plato had some interesting thoughts on this, on essentially every man does what's right.
But even a movie like the show like Walking Dead, most people was trying to do the right thing. Most people was creating community. You had a few bad apples, but they run into every now and then. But most people was trying to. Everybody was not just savages.
Before serendipity goes, I was going to say, fun fact, sounds like you're a Walking Dead fan. They did a voiceover for one of the characters for the video game. Unfortunately, my character got killed off early, but it was fun.
Oh, right on.
Moose, how much has AI destroyed voiceover work?
Not as much as you think, Mojo. Not as much as you think. I know that was actually one of the, as Naya knows pretty well, like the huge actors writer strike. Was that last year?
I think it was 2 years ago.
God, was that 2 years? Good Lord. Big part of the writing part was, and actually actors too, like having their images like an avatar, replicated by AI. But the bigger threat was not eliminating AI for writers, but limiting the use of AI in TV and movie writing. But let's keep it real. Some of the shows that are out there, you're like, AI might be better.
Maybe it was last year, Moose, the strike. I really don't remember now.
So, Moose, you know what would be a hilarious development? So this app, they partner with somebody to basically, they can take your voice and license it however they wish. Wouldn't it be crazy if something went super, just exploded, maybe like a Pixar film where they took voices from Clubhouse? What if your voice became the star of a major hit without your consent?
A major hit like John streaming multiple channel? Like, I don't equate major hit with Clubhouse, but do you mean like?
I mean that Paul is partnered with an AI company to give them the voices. Paul can, with this company, they can license our voices to do anything. They can repurpose it in any way they wish. It's part of the terms of service.
I don't think I see enough on here to even get noticed from Paul or those guys.
This is why they wanted the voice chat stuff, the voicemails, so they could isolate and make sure they had a fingerprint, so they could know exactly whose voice was whose. Yeah, Freddie Roosevelt and I did a room about a year ago or so. I'm sure some of y'all remember Freddie Roosevelt. And we talked about just that, using our voice and likeness on this app, because Freddie, when he was really active on this app, I had noted, Freddie, you have very specific lingo and slang, and he was commenting on how he would dip in and out of rooms, primarily white rooms, hosted by people who he never saw in his spaces, or at the very least, he didn't know that they frequented his spaces. And he would go in their rooms and hear them repeating his slangs and his slogans, but at the same time giving him credit. And I said, yeah, Freddie, don't be surprised one day if you're perusing the internet and you come across some AI model that was designed in your name, likeness, and image, and is speaking like you, using some of your catchphrases, because that is why this app is a social experiment, in my opinion, as we, most of us have discussed, in these spaces and similar spaces, to use our voices, to, study our voices to train AI models. So, yeah, Mojo, I agree with that. Where did you guys fall on the writer's strike? Oh boy, go ahead.
I'm a weirdo. I feel there should be no AI at all in creative writing. I think it's okay for reporting. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you go to your streams, your news streams, whatever, on your phones or laptops, like it'll say story by, and they'll put someone's name. But if you actually, I've just been noticing far more grammatical errors in these stories. I think less and less of them are actually really being written by humans. I think there's just giving AI ChatGPT notes of the story and take it from there.
So this is my take on the whole writer's strike thing, is that if you're not a better writer than artificial intelligence, then you don't get the job. If I were looking for a story, if I wanted a screenplay to make a film out of, if you're a screenwriter and you can't write a better screenplay than AI, I think AI should take your job. Like, it should. In fact, I think it would be immoral to give the nod to the human if AI wrote the better story. Currently, we don't have that problem, despite how bad some of the writing is today. I think we're at an all-time low in terms of the writing of screenplay. Well, actually, I take that back. I think that there's great writers out there. In fact, I know there's great writers out there that just can't find the funding to do their projects. But if you can't sell the idea, and if the folks that are going to put the money behind the movie don't believe it's going to sell, they can be guilty of being wrong, but you need their money, and so you need to do a better job of selling that. And so I just think that because money is it's show business. It's a business. They want to make money, and as long as they're going to do that, I think this trend of going for existing IP, where you have a built-in audience, is going to continue. And the only way I see writers cracking into that would be through fan fiction, because you're going to see people continuing to go after existing IP. It's a vicious cycle, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I tested this theory one day. I've been working on this script for a while, and I plugged in the outline to ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT. Now, I had already written the first act, but I asked ChatGPT to, after I fed the outline to it, I asked it to write the first maybe 10 pages, just to compare its dialogue to my dialogue, and it was incredibly weak. What the prompt gave me, right? And so, of course, I've been in spaces where writers brag about, they love ChatGPT. It writes scripts for them, and then I'm wondering, well, how much do you have to go in there and tweak the script? Do you rely solely on what ChatGPT gave you, or do you go in and tweak the script and the dialogue? Because what I found is when ChatGPT spit out the first 10 pages, all the characters sound exactly alike. Then the argument is, okay, so ChatGPT writes your script. Do you take credit for it, or do you credit the AI? Now, I will say, as a writer, I do find ChatGPT or some of these other, Grok or Gemini, helpful in kind of streamlining outlines or beats, or even writing pitch decks, right? Kind of fleshing things out. But writing the full story or the full script, I agree. If you're not talented or creative enough to fully execute a 90-page or 160-page story, you're right. I agree. You don't get the job. If I were a producer, hiring a writer.
Agreed, Nye. I think that's a problem, considering I enjoy some screenwriting too, and it's fair to say that the inciting incident, right, is typically the first 10, 20 pages. One page of script is translates to like a minute of action, more or less, on the screen. So if you're getting a lame duck in the beginning, like, you got a hook. At the end of the day, if you're doing the 3-arc, like beginning, middle, and end, most audiences will be more forgiving if the middle gets wonky, you have some plot holes, but you hook them, and you hook them in the beginning, and you give them a nice ending at the end, the dramatic, happy, whatever. That's what they're going to remember. But yeah, if the first 10 pages and 10 first beginning of the script does not hook, the inciting incident is weak, that's problematic.
Now, I will say this, Moose. I'm a huge fan. I don't know if you're familiar with the film CB. I think they made 3 or 4 of them, right? The franchise has just fallen off over the years. I'm really hoping that whatever studio or writer or producer owns the IP revives Q. In the meantime, I went into ChatGPT. I have like 3 or 4 ideas to continue the franchise. And I'm hoping through my resources and connections, I can get linked to whoever owns this IP to pitch them my ideas to continue the franchise. So I did plug in just, a long line or 2 into ChatGPT and asked it to flesh out what the next 5 films would look like. And I was thoroughly impressed with what it gave me, because it was right on par with how I envisioned the franchise continuing. So in that regard, I found ChatGPT to be quite, satisfying as a creative. And, I copied and saved what it gave me, and I added it to my kind of little collection of franchises that I want to see continue. So I've been putting out to the universe. I have two visions here. One, to write at least 1 episode for Doctor Who, which I have a script, a pilot script for. Well, not necessarily pilot, maybe a pilot for a new season, and to be involved with hopefully the continuation of Q. So we shall see if ChatGPT in that regard brings me some luck.
Amazing. What about the threat? I mean, isn't there like has college students like started writing papers using ChatGPT? You know, law students.
Quite difficult. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's. How do you censor? Like, can you write things with ChatGPT?
Quite difficult. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's 60 seconds of chillism. Now, I think at some point you have to have some self-reflection. Say, is it worth it? Is it worth it to come here and to listen to these meaningless conversations of brain rot? Is it worth it? That's my question I want to ask you. Is it worth it?
Now rewrite it at a fifth grade education level. Now rewrite it, and you can start doing edits and rewrites, and then eventually what will happen is you can get it so far removed from what its original AI instincts were, and you can even give it examples of in the voice of, write it the way Andrew Dice Clay would write it, write it the way
Quite difficult. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's 60 seconds of chillism. Now, I think at some point you have to have some self-reflection. Say, is it worth it? Is it worth it to come here and to listen to these meaningless conversations of brain rot? Is it worth it? That was my question I want to ask you. Is it worth it?
The one that's pretty obvious is if you go to ChatGPT, it really likes, it doesn't like commas as much as it likes dashes. And so when you see the double dash, you see it like that is a telltale sign, because nobody writes like that. Nobody on planet Earth writes like that. It's almost like they bake that in as like a first line of defense to be able to see if somebody used ChatGPT or not.
That's interesting, because I noticed even like when you put it typing in the chat here on Clubhouse or the email, where I mean, let's face it, like autocorrect is was like ChatGPT in its diapers. With all the word suggestion, like you start typing like, hey, like Google started this, right? You get a message, you get an email from somebody. Google is reading the email message because it's offering you prompt, it's offering you a variety of prompts to just choose instead of having to actually use your own brain and use your own words. It would be like, yeah, sounds great, thumbs up, or oh, sorry to hear that. But I've also noticed the one thing that stands out with autocorrect is commas and calling you out when you're not using commas appropriately. But that's probably the least hardware piece with AI.
Yeah, so one of the outlets that I write for, we have a problem with AI there, and there's nothing we can do about it. My IT team has told us, the lawyer for the company has said there's nothing we can do. There is some sort of AI system being used by a company, and I think they traced it to Russia or Ukraine, I'm not sure, Poland, where they're copying all of my articles, and I'm sure probably some other writers for this outlet, they're copying all of my articles and republishing them on their own website, as if they're writing it, as if I write to them. And my managing editor is furious, but there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. And it is an AI, it's not a human that is pulling the article and copying and pasting and republishing. No, we have determined that it is some sort of AI system that is scouring our site and pulling some of the best stories, and they just so happen to be most of my stories, since I'm the one that covers the entertainment news for this site. And so, yeah, it's pretty, I don't know, it's, dare I say, disturbing, but I guess this is what we have to deal with in this AI world, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Imitation's the highest form of flattery, but that's creepy, yeah.
So let me ask a question. Some of you are very concerned about AI. I'm just wondering, if you think we're already living in anarchy, I mean, is it, the person on the highway, expressway, who shoots you, or the person that stabs you on the train, or, what's more dangerous, society today in America or AI?
I think AI could be. I mean, AI as it stands right now is not dangerous, with the exception of some of these deep fakes, because it's getting hard to discern what's real and what's not real, especially if these deep fakes are used to damage someone's reputation or image. But I would like to think that the population is aware, especially if you're on the computer a lot, and you're aware of AI and deep fakes. I would like to think that people are able to use some kind of deductive skills to determine what's real and what's not. But as AI gets more savvy, it might get difficult to figure out what's real and fake, especially as it relates to news sources, right? In healthy debates earlier today, someone noted, what if in the near future there's a presidential campaign and someone uses a deep fake to destroy the image or reputation or the campaign of a presidential candidate they don't like, and it really impacts their voter base, or how the population resonates with that candidate. So that can definitely be dangerous.
And I don't know why you're talking about this in the future. I mean, our president held up a deep fake with MS-13 and deported a person with it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
This is
We
here.
also had a former president arrested by the FBI.
So I don't know, John. I mean, I don't think it's as dangerous now. I still think the person on the subway with the gun or the knife is more dangerous than AI. But I predict as AI advances and as these language models get more evolved, then yeah, I can see us living in a near future where the AI could be more dangerous than the criminal on the street ready to snatch you up.
I mean, in Chicago this weekend, 30 people were murdered by gunfire, 250 shot. It's like that every weekend. Why, as a society, do we tolerate that?
How do we not?
You could apprehend criminals.
Yeah, I blame our politicians, John. I think we just need to elect better officials. Listen, I live in Chicago too, and the mayor down there. Well, I live outside of Chicago, so the mayor down there, as you know, is just a disaster. So, in my opinion, it's just we have to elect better officials, and a lot of these liberals. I mean, look at California for instance. I lived there for 20 years, but I got the hell out just in the nick of time. California has this. I don't know if it's still like this, but in some areas of California, you own a store, you just have to let them snatch and grab. You can't stop them, you can't apprehend them for stealing your shit, let them go. I remember that video that went viral where a store owner confronted Gavin Newsom about these laws, and he gave kind of a laissez-faire attitude about it. A lot of these Democratic run cities, they want criminals on the street. They want to let them out of jail early. You can't afford bail, oh no problem, just let them back on the street, right? So I think it really comes down to the elected officials. They want lawlessness. They want criminals on the street. They want the people to be, armed, and then they want to threaten to take their guns away. So I blame the politicians, sir. I don't think the people want this.
So if Donald Trump takes over Washington, D.C., you're all for that, correct?
I mean, well, what do you mean take over? He's the president.
I'm saying that he gets rid of the mayor and he takes over the city security-wise. There's no more lawlessness. There's no more rampant homelessness. No more drug dealing. No more shootings. No more robberies. He actually forms a security perimeter and takes care of the situation with force.
Yeah, I would have no problem with that.
And I hear you, and I hear your frustration there, but I have to push back because, so yeah, the mayor meets with, generally most police chiefs, right, have one boss. It's the mayor. But the mayor, of course, doesn't make any of the laws. In fact, it's actually far more up to the DA. DAs don't make laws, but they are the arbiter of enforcing what laws